Welcome.
Earth along with me.
Oh, gnarly!
Oh my God, I shot my eye out.
Please go to 11.
Reading Starfighter.
Hasta la vista, baby.
14.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 40 Going on 14. I am Mike.
I am Patrick.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Josh, and this week we got a group of guys who do serious damage to themselves for the entertainment of others, and they're talking about Jackass.
Yes,
Oh,
it is not us.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
Oh, come on.
a little too close to home.
Yep, this week we are talking about Jackass, the movie, and Jackass 2022, Jackass Forever.
And just all the Jackass in general.
Yeah, all
A
the
lot
Jackass.
of jackassery and tomfoolery.
All the jackassery. And the jackoffery.
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
No?
Well, maybe.
It's always a
No.
little bit of jackoffery.
Always something. But yes. So if you have a better idea than this, give us a call. 708 now wrap. That's 708-669-9727. You can also join our conversation on our Discord by clicking the join us link in the show notes. And just on the off chance that's not working, someone let me know.
Yeah,
try.
just let us know by clicking the join us.
Or call me and leave me a voicemail. Be like, hey, asshole, the link doesn't work.
Wait.
Could be.
We almost lost the voicemail line because I never use it to call out, and Google's like, well, we notice you're not using your number. We want it back. I was like, oh,
no.
shit. So I texted Patrick. I was like, I need to send a text from this number.
Right now.
And
I don't have to learn a new number.
I responded,
Right.
but didn't get an answer. So
Oh.
It'd be funny if I'm sorry, we actually did lose it. And we've been saying it, and all these people are calling this poor one dude who's like, leave me alone. Why are you calling me about movies? Your opinion sucks. But we do have an opinion today. We have a email.
Whoa.
From
Nice.
listener Luther.
Luther.
Yeah. So Luther says he's just started listening to the newest episode, and I immediately got to chime in on the Jell-O pudding pops. They used to have the recipe on the Jell-O boxes, and you could buy the pudding pop freezer molds. So he grew up pretty poor. So it was a money saver for his mom to make them at home rather than buy them. He also has to add that the homemade version was superior to the store-bought. He did find a recipe online and made some a few years ago for my daughter. At the time, she wasn't a fan. She's always been more of a fruit, sour-flavored frozen pops, but they were amazing for me. Thanks for the memories, guys. He's got more to say, but that's another email. So he says, take care. I remember that recipe, and I remember the pudding pop molds.
but that is some serious poverty when you're talking about having to save the difference between store-bought pudding pops and making your own.
And did you edit that in there, or did it actually say that in the email?
Did it say what?
That
He was-
they were poor.
No, he said that.
Yeah.
Why would I say that?
Oh.
I don't know if Luther's poor, rich, or like Joel.
I choose to believe that was Luther Vandross teaching us about pudding pops. And that he's now listening to our show.
Oh.
Well, he could be. Never.
Could we get Tevin Campbell listening too?
He might. Tevin,
Tony,
if you're
Tony,
out there,
Tony.
let us know.
Yeah. Give us a word. But yeah, so thank you, Luther. We always appreciate your
Babyface, don't you
messages.
bother calling us. We don't want to know what
Hey.
you.
We like Babyface.
Oh, we are not Babyface fans.
Oh, he's a hell of a songwriter. He's no Teddy Pendergrass, but
What?
who is?
Teddy Pendergrast?
Yeah.
Are we arguing about Keith Edmonds?
Oh.
Ah,
What about LeVar Burt? Wait, LeVar.
of our
Wait.
Burton.
No.
LeVar Burton? No.
Yes. Wait.
What?
The guy.
No.
Wait. Who's the guy who sings picture pages?
Gerald Levert. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, so LeVar Burton is Geordie
Reading Rainbow.
LaForge and Reading
Yeah,
Rainbow. Yeah,
Reading Rainbow. That's what I was
And,
thinking of.
and Kunta Kinte.
That's true.
Yeah.
that is true.
What kind of weird ass hole do we just go down? What?
I don't know, but I think it means it's about that time.
It is 100%
Lord.
about that time.
This week in music, movies, and TV.
Sports. All right, this week we are going with October 1st, the year 2000. Premiere of Jackass on MTV.
In the year
I-
2000.
I was thinking the same thing.
Nice.
All right, so the top song in the land was Music by Madonna in the middle of a 4-week run.
God, that song was awful.
Isn't
It's
that the one
awful.
where she's dressed like a cowboy in the video?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I actually kind of like that song.
Oh, it's so disjointed and crappy, and like the lyrics are so juvenile, and it's just such a bad song.
I don't think I'd like put it on my iTunes or bump it in my car, but like for like a crappy club music sitting at a bar, it seemed fine to me.
Huh.
I can honestly say I don't remember the song. I just remember when the album came out and the video.
You
I
would
don't
remember the
remember
song
any of
if
it.
you heard it, but yeah, it's not worth looking up.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. The 34th Country Music Association Awards was held on October 4th at the Grand Ole Opry House in Nashville, Tennessee. It was hosted by CMA Award winner Vince Gill. Faith Hill led the night with 7 nominations, including Album of the Year and Entertainer of the Year. The big winners were the Dixie Chicks, Faith Hill, and Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care about any of that.
Vince Gill, I like Vince Gill.
He's all right. Yeah, I mean, I had that first Dixie Chicks album. It was pretty good. Faith Hill's all right, I guess. Tim McGraw is an Indian outlaw, from what I hear.
Yeah, Tim McGraw is definitely the worst out of all of those.
Him and his bald head. Oh wait. All right. Okay. Benjamin Orzechowski, known professionally as Benjamin Orr, was an American musician and singer best known as the bassist, co-founder, and co-lead vocalist of the rock band The Cars. He sang lead vocals on several of their best-known songs, including Just What I Needed, Let's Go, and Drive. From 1998, he performed with his own band, ORR, and 2 side bands, or maybe just OR, perhaps, Voices of Classic Rock with Mickey Thomas and John Cafferty, and cover band Big People. In April of 2000, Orr was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and hospitalized. Orr's final public appearance was on September 27th in a Big People concert. He died at home in Atlanta on October 3rd, surrounded by fellow Big People band members. Orr was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Cars in 2018. Man, he was absorbed, sadly.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That is sad.
Yeah.
And
know
Mike,
it
you
was
want to
bad.
tell him how to pronounce that original name?
Did I get it wrong?
Yeah, you did.
Orzechowski? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, he's close. Orzechowski.
Mm,
You don't think
All
so,
right,
Patrick?
fine. It's pronounced
No.
luxury yacht.
no, because I went to high school with a family that had a name very similar to that, and they pronounced it Orchevsky.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yes, there would be a CZ in the middle after the H if it was Chesky. The OW would be CZ.
Anyway.
I felt bad because I wanted to laugh when I said that he was in a Big People concert because I was just
I was
imagining,
thinking the same thing.
right? Like, you got to go to the little kids show. We're gonna go to the Big People concert. So we'll pick you up afterwards outside in your dad's LTD. Just what I needed.
Nice.
Ah.
All right, moving on to movies. The number 1 movie in the land was Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
I've still
I
never
remember
seen
that
it.
movie.
Really?
It's good.
Yeah, I actually have not seen a whole lot of sports movies. I've seen that one.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of your typical feel good, bad things happen, good things happen kind of sports movie, but it's worth a watch for sure.
Right. I mean, I didn't get how it was a sequel to Wrath of the Titans, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Tonight we dine in hell. Oh wait, wrong movie. Sorry.
All right. Movies released this week included Hellraiser Inferno, Requiem for a Dream, Get Carter, Meet the Parents, and the acronym of the week, which is SDATAI. which I'm pretty sure stands for Sucking Dick at the Alzheimer's Institute.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're getting hate mail for that one.
Wow.
And the best part about it is every time you do it, it's like the first time. You know,
Right?
you can charge them first time rate every time.
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
that's actually Scooby Doo and the Alien Invaders.
Damn, that's the closest he's ever been. I think. It's a weird lineup because Hellraiser Inferno was not great. Requiem for a Dream was far scarier than Hellraiser Inferno.
Right.
Get Carter was forgettable. Meet the Parents
Oh, I
was...
liked Get Carter.
Yeah, it was okay, but it was. I agree with him. It was forgettable. It was a
Fair.
decent movie, but
Meet the Parents, it's all right. I don't remember Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invasion, though. Was there a lot of dick sucking in it?
More than you would think.
Probably. I mean, if that van's a rocking,
No, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a weird mishmash of movies right there.
I
Mishmash.
think at the time, the only one of those I saw in the theater was Get Carter, though.
Really? You saw it in the theater?
I did.
Wow.
I saw that and Meet the Parents both in the theater.
At the same time?
No.
I knew I wasn't going to like Meet the Parents, and I saw it later on cable and was like, yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, there's people that are just fanatical about that and the sequel, and I don't get it. It's like
I like it.
kinda
I mean,
okay.
I like Ben Stiller and I like the cast, everything, and it was enjoyable. It wasn't amazing, but it was enjoyable.
Right. Well, I've gone on record many times about being the pickiest of the four of us when it comes to comedies.
For sure.
All right. Franklin Nathaniel Jonas, born on September 28th, is a former child actor. He voiced Sosuke in the 2009 film Ponyo and had a recurring role on the series Jonas, a show about his older siblings, the Jonas Brothers. He also appeared in a minor role in Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam.
I have seen all of those.
I am sorry.
Yikes.
Except for the Ponyo.
Yeah. The Ponyo's, even now, with them being 18, they still like to watch Ponyo. But the funny
I've never seen any of them, and I don't feel like I've missed them.
Is that a Studio Ghibli?
Yeah, Ponyo's a Studio Ghibli one. It's got
Okay.
a great voice acting list, but they actually recognized his voice the first time they heard it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I remember I've seen like the box cover to that like a million times. I've not seen it.
Didn't you watch it from when we did the Studio Ghibli show?
I didn't watch that one. No, I watched Howl's Moving Castle and some. I know it's one of the bigger ones, but yeah, I'm looking at the cast list here: Matt Damon, Liam Neeson, Betty White, Tina Fey, Kate Blanchett. Yeah,
yeah. That was the first Miyazaki movie that I brought home for them to watch, and now we have just about all of them. So
nice.
And the Jonas Brothers are actually pretty cool. I can think of worse bands the kids to be into at that age. Camp Rock 2 sucks, though.
ICP
and Camp Rock 3.
Who's going chicken hunting? We're going chicken hunting. That's about as ICP as I get.
Yeah, I actually saw the ICP. I think it was a horror movie, or maybe it was like a Road Warrior type movie.
Oh! And go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it was fucking boring.
Yeah. They've made Hustlers, Big Hustle. Damn it! I wish I could think of the name.
I think
of the
this
movie.
was like a death race sort of movie.
Yep. They've made a few, and they're none of them are good.
Right, and it wasn't even good in a fun way. I was just bored.
Death Racers.
Yes, that's the one.
Yep. Then they have Big Money Rustlers, and Big Money Hustlers. Two different movies.
Huh.
Yeah. So
that's a weird turn from starting out talking about Miyazaki movies, but all right. So TV. Top shows in the land were Survivor, The Australian Outback, ER, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and Everybody Loves Raymond.
When I looked up to see what you were reading, I read that as Survivor, The Australian Outbreak, and I was like, that's a very different show. It's a very different show.
We dropped these 14 people in the middle of a zombie outbreak in Australia. Let's see who survives.
I was thinking Ebola, but that works too.
Well, that too. On October 3rd, the James Cameron creation Dark Angel, starring Jessica Alba, premiered to glowing reviews from both critics and fans.
Mostly because of Jessica Alba's outfit.
Yeah,
Black
Well,
leather.
they weren't wrong.
that was a thing.
I never
So,
saw it.
No,
Me either.
it's all right.
But her outfit was nice.
Yeah, I watched the first season.
It was pretty good.
Was there more than one season?
I think there were 3. But I may be wrong.
But
That
the
sounds about
outfit
right.
has had 7 seasons.
Yes. Just the video of the suit laying on a bed. On October 2nd, Triple Play was played for the first time on The Price is Right. It was the first game show in history to offer 3 cars as one prize.
Is that like a game on The Price is Right? Like Plinko, like that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like a brand new thing?
Yeah, played it for the first time on October 2nd. I just said that.
Oh, well, no, I
Yeah.
just thought maybe it was like a game that had been there and nobody had ever played it before. Like it was always there, but like it always got missed. And then finally somebody landed on it and they're like, oh, yay, we're finally going to play Triple Play.
No,
Oh,
we got
fuck,
these
can
3
wait.
cars
Have
back
you
here.
Ever watched The Price is Right? What are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's been like
Landing
long
on Triple
time.
Play? What are you talking about?
I
It's
don't
not
know.
Monopoly.
They don't land on the games. They
Yeah,
choose the games
exactly.
beforehand.
I don't remember.
So you haven't seen Price is Right.
I have seen Price is Right, where he kisses a dog and then he neuters one of the contestants.
All right, so moving on. Richard Mulligan was a character actor known for his roles in the sitcoms Soap and Empty Nest. Mulligan was the winner of 2 Emmy Awards and 1 Golden Globe Award. His final performance was a voiceover on Hey Arnold as the voice of Jimmy Kafka, the long-mentioned but never seen former friend of Arnold's grandpa. Mulligan died of colorectal cancer at his home on September 26th. That's sad.
Yeah, rest in peace. You absorbed.
That's
into
what
a
in my
stew.
family will have if conversation starts to get really stupid, one of the things my family do will be like, all right, I'm out. And they do the snap thing from Soap.
Yep.
We can turn himself. That is a show that would not be able to be made today.
I think you bring that up every week.
Not every
Maybe
week.
not on the. Sometimes in pre-show, not necessarily on the podcast.
True. It's just funny because it just shows how much you like that show because you bring it up very often, and it just I get it.
We watched it every week. I mean, like the one episode where they're trying to get into the cult to rescue the little brother from the cultists, and they all put the blackface on, and then to distract the guards, they all start doing Step and Fetch It. That wouldn't fly today.
I'm
No, probably not.
just hearing about it.
Yeah. No, I don't think that would probably go today. Moving on to sports. As the closing ceremonies of the 27th Olympics were held in Sydney, the United States won the most medals, 97, and the most gold medals, 40.
Oh.
On October 1st, Stephanie Cook of Great Britain scored 5,318 points to beat American Emily DeReal by a mere 8 points to win gold at the inaugural women's-sponsored pentathlon at the Sydney Olympic Games.
I mean, it makes sense with the Olympics going on. That's pretty much all there is for sports.
Yep. There were other things about the closing ceremonies and stuff, but they weren't really that interesting. So, but yeah, the pentathlon and the decathlon always are the last thing to wrap up before the closing ceremonies.
It is a Olympic sport that combines fencing, freestyle swimming, equestrian show jumping, and a combined event of pistol shooting and cross-country running for 3,200 meters.
Shit. I actually didn't know that.
That's crazy. They're going to combine them all into one, where you ride a horse through a lake with a sword in one hand and a gun in the other. I'd watch that.
That would be a fun one.
On Survivor, the Australian outbreak.
Well, that's like the... you guys ever watch the biathlon?
Occasionally, yeah.
That's a crazy crazy one.
Ski shooting.
Ski shooting, yeah, cross country skiing with a 150-meter ski, and then they have to do dead shot with the rifles. Yeah, they get like 20 seconds to make the shot, and then they have to ski again. Pretty cool stuff. I think that's all we got.
All right, play us off, keyboard Joel.
Na, 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 na.
All right. So, yeah, in honor of the Jackass show, I figured I'd kick us off by doing a little stunt myself here. Let me just, I'll just get out of my chair here.
All right, so Jackass 2000 starts out as an American reality comedy television series created by Jeff Tremaine, Spike Jones, and Johnny Knoxville. Showed up for 3 seasons between 2000 and 2001 with some reruns, and it went off the air, and then the cast reunited to film what they believe would be the conclusion of Jackass the movie. They made it clear that this was the farewell to the fans of the show, and we're not doing this again now because it's a movie. We can do even crazier stuff, and it'll be super cool and awesome. They shot the movie on a budget of $5 million, and it went on to gross over $60 million in the United States alone, and finished at the #1 spot in the box office during its debut weekend. So they made more.
Yep.
They were like, how much money? So we had Jackass the TV series, Jackass the movie in 2002, Jackass #2 in 2006, Jackass presents Matt Hoffman's tribute to Evel Knievel in 2008, Jackass 3D, Jackass presents Bad Grandpa, and then finally Jackass Forever.
And the other thing they've done is that they have so much extra footage that there's Jackass 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. There's going to be a 4.5, and there's a Bad Grandpa 2.0. So they release basically a whole second movie of B-roll footage for each time they make one of these.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they get a lot of mileage for the buck.
That's
Lot.
insane. Well, yeah. I mean, think about like how much pre-show we have, stuff that we don't actually post. They got all that stuff going on. I'm sure they probably reels.
They go.
reels.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff they go through the effort of like setting up and building sets and doing all kinds of stuff, and it doesn't even make the main movie. Just barely gets shown.
And sometimes that shit is funnier
Yeah.
than the stuff in the movie.
So yeah, so some of the crap involved with this show. This is
I see where this is going.
Joe Lieberman followed up with a February 7th, 2001 letter to MTV's parent company, Viacom, urging the company to take responsibility for its programming and to do more to help parents protect their children.
Hey, does anybody else think that Joe Lieberman looks like Willie from Alf?
Kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. I could see that.
Ha!
MTV responded by canceling all airings of Jackass before 10 p.m. because everybody knows all the children are in bed by 10 p.m.
Yeah.
But he had a continual campaign against the show, led to MTV refusing to air repeats of the later episodes, which made the cast and production crew angry because they were caving into Lieberman's demands, which is kind of bullshit. You know, how about you just say, hey, parents, don't let your kids watch it. Be a parent.
Right.
Or if you come home and the kid's standing on the counter with a match and a can of lighter fluid, maybe you're just a bad parent.
Yeah, maybe you need to be a better influence on your kids than the television. I mean, that's just saying, you know.
Also, a Montana man named Jackass sued MTV for $10 million in 2002.
He should be suing his parents.
No, because it's even better. The claiming the show was plagiarizing his name. Jackass, whose birth name was Bob Kraft, changed his name in 1997 to raise awareness for drunk driving after his brother and friend both died in a car accident.
How does that raise awareness?
Yeah, what the fuck kind of logic is that?
Well, it's just like...
My brother died in a car wreck, so I'm going to call myself Jackass.
I guess it's like the 1997 version of putting a little ring around your Facebook profile picture. It says, I support whatever the current thing is. I mean, it's...
that would be like, because my dad died of colorectal cancer, I'm going to change my name to Sphincter Face.
Are you going to do that? Please tell me you're going to do that.
No.
I mean, it would raise my awareness.
You can call me Sphinx, though, for short.
Ass man.
Ass face.
Ass face, ass man. Clinch Buttock Jones. So that's stupid. Both of those things were stupid. So 2000 Jackass the movie, like I said, directed by Jeff Tremaine and Spike Jonze and Johnny Knoxville. Starred Johnny Knoxville, those guys, along with Bam Margera. Right?
Margera, yeah.
Margera, yeah.
Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Ryan Dunn, Jason Weeman, Alcuna, Preston Lacey, Dave England, Aaron McGahey.
Danger Aaron, yeah.
Brandon DeCamelo. Some trivia on this one is that the shopping cart in the opening sequence of the movie was originally built for and used in the film The Incredible Shrinking Woman from 1981.
Oh, Lily Tomlin.
Yeah. Preston Lacey spotted it in the studio lot and was like, we need that. Which they were right. Loomis Fall came up with the idea of the Night Pandas segment because he wanted to go to Japan. The crew agreed to bring him along simply because nobody had the heart to tell him that pandas are from China, not from Japan.
Loomis.
Matt Hoffman, Steve-O, Bam, and Johnny Knoxville all suffered serious injuries during filming. Hoffman broke his wrist when he fell off his bike during Sweaty Fat Fucks. Was also knocked out in the same incident. Knoxville was knocked out when his golf cart flipped over, and again when he fought Butterbean. Bam tore his hamstring at the beginning of the movie's production, and Steve-O developed a serious infection when he fell into a contaminated river in the Pooh River Pole Vault, which is on the DVD only, which was later edited into Tropical Pole Vaulting.
And I told you, Mike, I think my favorite line in all of Jackass is in this movie, and it's in that scene when Johnny Knoxville fights Butterbean. He gets knocked unconscious, and as he comes to and he's getting tended to, he just, in his woozy state, is Butterbean okay?
Yes. I saw that one. Now, did they, in 2000, I had a 1-year-old. I was not watching Jackass. I had other things on my mind, working and taking care of the kid. When they go into public places, did they have a setup for any of this, or did they just bust into a department store and start boxing?
It depended on the prank.
Right. Because, for example, I think we talked about it last week, but when they did the crash up derby, the rental car crash up derby, they contacted the owner of the car rental company, but didn't tell the people at the low level, that were the ones that were renting the car, what was going on. So they had permission, but they didn't let the people know.
The person who would be paying the bills for the damage gave him permission.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes I think they do make that ahead of time if there's going to be damage that's caused. But, if they're just going down the middle of the street, not so much. They might have to get permits from the city to shoot, but even then, I'm not always sure.
So this is the first time I've seen these. I mean, maybe not the first time.
It doesn't surprise me.
Did you end up watching a full movie?
I watched the full movie. I watched this, and I watched a bunch of the YouTube clips. I sat there when I first started watching them, I was watching the giant hand thing.
Oh, that's one of my favorite bits.
And where they ask, I forget which one they asked.
Aaron to carry soup?
Yes. They asked Aaron to carry soup. And the thing was, the first one was a chuckle. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good, and they're all laughing. And of course, it's all the over the top, laughing type of thing. But then when they gave him the soup, and I'm watching him going, this guy's walking down this hallway going, why the hell did they give me soup?
Right.
Why? This is not normal. This is not an everyday. Why are they giving me soup? Something, and you could tell it by the way he was walking that something was going to happen. But I think the one that really made me laugh the hardest is when they strapped the bags of flour to it. And smacked Bam. Because I rewound it just to watch, is that Bam fell like his heels were on a hinge.
Yeah, and he left the ground at one. He was like literally his feet left the ground at one point.
And he just did a straight 45-degree smack on the ground. And one part of my brain's going, why are you laughing at this? This is so stupid. And I'm like, why am I laughing at this? Because given the chance, we would do this.
Because a lot of Jackass, especially with some of their most outlandish stuff, it's like literal. It's literally like cartoons brought to life. Like some of the stuff they do to each other. Like it's stuff that like Wile E. Coyote does to the Roadrunner, and these guys are doing it to each other in real life.
Well, and they said that they don't do test runs. Like they don't, and they just do it because part of it is the reaction. So
yeah,
what
they
we're
do
seeing-
diagrams and storyboards, and then they're like, let's just go do it and film it and see how it
and they
works.
see what happens. And that thing, especially because Bam's the one who started antiquing people. Yeah, that whole bit, and his especially, just every single time. I just can't. And I was watching these with Laura, and I just the whole time like, this is so stupid, but I love it. That's just the mantra.
Every time Jackass comes up, I do my own little mantra where I'm like, I completely understand how dumb this is, how this is contributing to the degradation of American society as a whole, how it's one step towards idiocracy, but goddamn if it is not funny. It makes me laugh till I cry sometimes when it's really good, like the whole Danger Aaron in the taxi cab. As
Oh,
he's,
God.
that whole bit, it was so many layers to it, and it was just so funny. And just watching it,
Jay
the first time,
Shankar.
yeah, like the first time I saw it, I was in the theater and I was just like literally crying. I was laughing so hard. And because there's something about these guys that just the fact that like Josh has talked about this before, the fact that they don't punch down, the fact that they sometimes when they need to they get permission. They're not out there like hurting other people. They're hurting themselves. They're hurting each other, and like they even have people on their staff that it's part of their contract that they can't get messed with, and they don't. They stick to those rules. It's like but if you're part of the guys that get fucked with, you got to watch everything that you do when they're filming.
Yeah, you might get stuck in a limousine full of bees.
or there was a running gag in one of the Jackass movies where Bam would just sneak up on people and just with a electric clipper just take off a portion of their hair. He
Yep.
did it to like every single person in the crew at one point.
Oh, I was watching it when they had Steve-O had the magnifying glass and was going around setting people's hair on fire.
Yeah.
And
As you do.
As you do, yeah. As I'm watching it with Suzanne, and as they're getting hurt, I think, what was the one? I'm not even sure if it was an old one, but I'm not even sure if it was from the movie back when they did the duck hunting, where they had that gigantic.
They launched the guy in the air and shot him with paintballs.
Paintballs.
Yeah.
I'm laughing as they're going ass over elbows into the air and then just smack in the ground. And she looks at me and she goes, I had this thought that guys are okay with pain as long as it's funny. And I'm like, 100%.
Yeah, that is entirely true.
That is as long as it's funny, and as long as you are not injured to the point where it's like debilitating. Because every single guy will do the same thing. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, now we can laugh.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing Easter breakfast a couple years ago, and one of the guys in the kitchen looked down to light the oven, and we suddenly hear this, and the tips of his eyebrows and the tips of his eyelashes had turned to ash.
Yikes.
Yeah, and his face was all red because he got the blast full of face, and you could smell the burning hair. I was like, "Are you okay?" And he had that moment of like touching his face, like, "Yeah, I think I'm all right." Then the whole kitchen just lets loose. All the guys in the kitchen start laughing, and all the women in the kitchen are like, "He could have gotten severely hurt. Oh my god!" And we're like,
But he
didn't.
But he
That's
didn't.
why it's
He's
funny.
When you come that close to death, but you don't die, that's hysterical.
That is as funniest as things can get.
Well, you know what's interesting about this is that they basically were viral videos before viral videos.
Yeah.
Because
they were. This is like TikTok before TikTok, kind of almost. Just the quick cut to a different thing that's gonna make you laugh every time. No real running plot.
It's like back in the day, like you'd have like there'd be that VHS that everybody be passing around, like, oh man, did you see this crazy shit that somebody recorded? It's like that, but then they took it and they put it into a packaged format, which started with Big Brother magazine.
It's funny you mentioned that because that's one of the ways that they got their start was Johnny Knoxville would put out this famous little VHS tape or CD or whatever back in the late 90s that kind of got underground popularity among a bunch of filmmakers in Hollywood because he went out and he was doing all these self tests on a bunch of self defense stuff. He was shooting himself with a small caliber gun while wearing a bulletproof vest, tasing himself, doing pepper spray into his eyes and all this kind of stuff, and it got into the right hands. And somebody at MTV was like, "We need to give this guy a show." And that's kind of how it all started. So it's funny that you mentioned that.
If he'll do this, there's no end to the stuff that he will do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they had that's when Steve-O got involved because he wanted to be a part of it, and he came out there to audition to do some stuff with Big Brother magazine, and he got there and they're like, well, this thing is now turned into a pilot for MTV, so you're on board. And his first thing was he was on stilts, was going to be lit on fire. He was going to have a bicyclist go through his legs and have a skateboarder jump over his head. They filmed it, but they never aired it because MTV's like, nope, but we're not going that far. Because he liked to light himself on fire a lot. But yeah. And that thing where Johnny Knoxville is out and shoots himself in the chest, for anybody who hasn't seen that, it's kind of intense.
Mm-hmm. Because, he really doesn't know if it's going to work 100% or not. And you can see it in his face.
And after he clicks the chamber the first time, the guy's like, you're going to have to go all the way back around now because it didn't go off. So he's like, click, click, click.
That's terrifying.
And it's slow. It's not that fast. It's like one, and every time he does it, you just kind of flinch. Yeah. But
yeah, I give these guys a lot of respect. One, for the amount of abuse that they have thrown onto their bodies, and two, for the ridiculous willingness that they are just like good to go with any of this stuff.
Yeah, and how they hardly ever lose their shit with each other, no matter what they do to each other. Like, you very rarely see any of them get mad at the other ones.
Yeah, there's been a couple times where they were like, I can't handle this. I'm done. Like I saw one where Bam was just like, I think when they were in New Orleans. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm never telling you guys what I hate again.
Yeah.
I tell you guys I hate snakes. I'm surrounded by snakes every goddamn day.
Yeah. Like if we were doing this kind of thing, I would have never ever told you guys about my roach fear. If this is because you guys would be dumping roaches on me every time I fell asleep.
Oh, you would have roach pipe every day.
Yeah, like no.
Roach pipe. Band name called it.
Roach pipe followed by mouse rat.
Everybody kind of has their own thing, like you've got the Wee Man and Preston that are, always chasing each other around or doing kind of the opposites thing. And you've got Dave who's always just shitting everywhere.
Yeah, like if you need on-site shitting, Dave is the guy.
Aaron, who's just basically me.
Aaron, who just doesn't know how to say no to anything.
Yeah, that poor guy, man.
He wants to say no, but he doesn't know how.
Is he the guy who broke his collarbone when he stepped in front of the jet engine? He had green hair.
No, that was
that's
that was Loomis, wasn't it?
No. Yeah, that was Danger Aaron. No, that's not Aaron. What's the other guy's name? Damn it, I can't think of his name all of a sudden. Who lost
Dave
the tooth?
England?
Yeah, that was Dave England. Thank you.
Okay, he had green hair, and he was supposed to he got an umbrella, and he's supposed to jump on a trampoline.
Oh no, that was
Loomis.
That was Loomis. That was Loomis.
That was Loomis.
Loomis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They both had green hair, but Aaron had the mohawk at the time.
Oh, okay.
When Aaron they did the Lamborghini tooth pull, it fractured his skull. After it happened, it fractured his skull, and it's just so like when you see it, it's just like it's like out.
Lamborghini,
and you're like, oh wow,
refresh my memory.
He had it was in one of the movies. He had a loose tooth, and they decided that they were going to literally tie a string to his tooth and shut the door. Except for shutting the door was tying it to the tailgate of a Lamborghini and taking off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Bam liked to buy expensive cars because he was the one that was making money because his CKY videos, he was already making a million or 2 million before he even started Jackass. So he was making a lot of money as a young guy. So
he was one of the producer credits too on everything. So
so he tied a string like a fishing line to his Lamborghini to to a tooth that was a little cockeyed that Aaron had, and drove it, like floored it, and then like you're waiting for it to get all the slack out, and as soon as it did, it just literally was like just a split second, just
yeah, you hear the actual like audible pop.
Oh
but
my
that's it,
God.
and you're like, it seems like, oh, it was a clean pull, but then you find out later that he had to go get x-rays and stuff done, and it had fractured his skull because of the force.
He had a hairline fracture in his skull. Yeah, from just the sheer.
It was
torque.
in the top tooth. Good God.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing
Yeah.
it wasn't on the bottom. Ripped his jaw clean off.
It could have,
Right.
yeah.
And they don't test it there. He's like, Johnny Knoxville one time, he's like, we're scientists, man, we're okay. Yeah.
But you had mentioned that Bam had his other like side gigs, that sort of thing, because he was a skater, wasn't he?
They were all pretty
Bam?
much. I think almost
Yeah.
all of them were skaters.
Except for Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny wasn't a skater.
Johnny wasn't a skater.
Preston
Bam
wasn't a
was
skater.
professional. Bam was professional level. Like that's how he got his notoriety, because he was noticed when he was like 13.
Okay.
Skating. Chris Pontius was a skater, but lesser known. He just started writing for Big Brother magazine, and then kind of got into that circle.
Yeah, when Bam Margera joined up with the Jackass crew, it was actually kind of like quote unquote news.
Yeah,
because he was already a name.
and he brought Ryan with him because Ryan was part of CKY, and he was like his best friend. Like they'd known each other since they were 12.
Those two guys were lifelong BFFs.
Jason was Wee Man was a professional skateboarder who was known in the community because he was a little person who was skateboarding.
Okay.
Aaron was a professional snowboarder. Dave, I don't know if Dave was a snowboarder or what I'm not sure about Dave, to be honest. And Brandon was friends with Ryan and Bam. So it was kind of like two different things joining together to create a new thing, more or less. And Johnny he was the guy that could talk to the camera. And since he had gone to be an actor and was not getting anywhere with it, he was the one that was comfortable talking on camera. So that's how he kind of
became the
leader
face of the whole thing.
Yeah, that, and he was willing to just pretty much do anything they told him to do.
Oh, okay. I mean, because he had like a charisma for it. He had like the smooth talk idea guy type feel to the whole thing.
Yes.
And one of his roles was basically, if they came up with something that they wanted to do and everybody else said no, he'd be like, okay, I guess I'm the one that's doing it. Like, that's how he ended up being the one to always face the bulls. He's like, nobody else is going to do this. So.
God. The bull ones, I mean, when they were on that 4-person seesaw.
Yeah.
Like that bull came over and just slapped him around, and then
yeah. I mean, the guy's made of Nerf. I mean, it's
well.
I mean, he's
many concussions.
It's entirely true, and I'm not calling him stupid, but it's so good that they use that song. Like, if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
Yep. I was singing along with it after the first movie ended when we were watching it. Yeah, I mean, we did some stupid crap, when we were in college and we were all and beyond. We did some stupid shit, but I don't think anything was ever quite to this level.
No, but I mean, I'm not trying to be like one of those, edgelord fanboy types, but like, this is the kind of, if we were given the kind of access to money and supplies and just overall production quality, we could have progressed to any of this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not saying exactly this stuff, but there's plenty of crap we would have done to each other.
There's times where I'm grateful and sad that cameras were not as readily available.
and well, I mean, the good news is if we were still doing this, we would still be in contact with Uki. So, because he would
Oh.
definitely be the one we would be beating up on, like Dave
He'd
England.
be dead by now.
Would
Yeah.
he be our Steve-O?
No, he would be our Dave England, like the one who
Okay.
we're like, we don't care that you don't want to do this, you're doing it.
Now go poop in a.
Get in the box. Gonna push you down the stairs.
Which they did that to Johnny Knoxville. Pushed him down concrete steps in a box.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They put pillows around him, so he was all right. They did the Pucano thing several times, and it's gross. But I think the worst thing in at least the first before we get to the new movie was the vomit. I just can't. I mean, I watched it.
That one's bad. The
Ugh.
the horse semen is bad.
But that's quick, and it's over.
Yeah. You're right. The vomit is one of the worst ones.
Do you know what that one is, Mike?
I do know what it is, and there were some of them, like Pat had sent me a curated list, and there were some where they're like, hey, welcome to Jackass, and today we're going to be doing blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nope, I'm out.
You're like, you may be, but I'm not.
I am not having that in the back of my head for the rest of the day.
They were doing the beer chug. Nope.
It was, and it was entertaining. The stuff that I watched was, I laughed my ass off on some of it. Like I said, what?
I just remembered the one that got me the most that I couldn't take. I couldn't watch it was the sweatsuit. That was the one that.
Oh, I just watched that one today.
That one. I don't know why that one, but I was like, oh.
What was a sweatsuit?
They
put Preston in a giant like a giant head to toe suit made of
plastic.
Yeah, like plastic, and they put funnels, like tubes and funnels around it, and everything that he sweat went into a jar.
So he was like working out like on a tandem bike.
It was like the suits in Dune.
Yeah, it collected his sweat. Yeah, but it didn't filter. It didn't nothing. At one point, I think it was it Ryan that reached in and grabbed his underwear
and wrung it out into a
and
cup.
Wrung it out into the same cup.
Oh my god!
Steve-O drank it, and then promptly vomited it out. Of course.
Which started a whole Stand By Me procession of people vomiting, of course,
Well, because Lance Bangs.
Lance cannot hold it. Yeah,
no.
Lance loses it every time they do anything. If anybody vomits, Lance is going to vomit, and if they do anything bodily fluid related, Lance is going to vomit on his own.
Well, speaking of fun facts, I learned today that I was watching a thing about Steve-O, and he just realized recently, because he went to the doctor to find out about his vocal cords, because he's got that voice and it just keeps seems to be getting worse as he gets older.
Raspier, yeah.
And he's like, I thought maybe it's because I was vomited all the time, or because I was loud and yelling and everything. Turns out when he was a kid, he didn't learn how to speak properly, so he speaks using his throat instead of his vocal cords. And they're like, well, if you do some speech therapy, we can correct this. And his fiance was against it. She likes his voice, and he did some thinking about it. And he's like, this is who I am. He's like, I don't think I want to change it now. So
that's weird.
Keep on keeping on. But yeah, like they showed a diagram of his throat and what he does differently than what normal people do. And yeah, his vocal cords are fine. He just doesn't use them properly.
That's crazy,
right? Weird.
He's also the one that went to the Barnum and Bailey, or he went to clown college.
Yep. Barnum and Bailey went to clown college. Said it's harder to get in there than to get into Harvard. He went on to join a troupe. He was working on a cruise ship. They went for one tour, and all the other clowns got together, went to the head of the cruise ship, and said that if you keep him on another season, we're all quitting together. So they got him fired. Because he was too
too crazy.
Yeah, too much of a problem. Yeah,
I just could see this poor manager's like, he looks out the window of his office, sees a parade of clowns, going, "Oh shit!" Somebody pissed off the clowns. How many clowns does a cruise ship have?
I don't know.
He's like, check out all these fucking clowns.
There was one point when I was still working at Starbucks where I actually got the opportunity to do that one. Because we had two guys who were on their way. They were professional clowns on their way to like a kid's birthday party or something on a Saturday. It was like early morning.
What do you
and
clowns want?
Exactly. They came in, and my manager was facing away from me behind me, and they come, "What do you clowns want?" And she's like, "What are you like? What are you doing?" And then she looked, and like for a brief moment, her brain broke. She was like, I'm like, I was like, "What?" I was just saying hello, and then but the best thing was that thankfully the two clowns played along with it. They're like, "This is the best greeting we've had all day. Don't give them crap about that." She was just like, just went in the back room.
Do clowns tip well?
I mean, yeah, they do.
Funny you should ask.
I was setting it up for somebody to get that joke, but anyway.
All right. But no, for the first time watching it, I mean, there were things that I was laughing at that initially I didn't think I would be laughing at. You know, there were things that were stupid funny, and there were things but I laughed at everything, but the stuff that I couldn't laugh at was the stuff that was grossing me out.
Yeah.
Like the bungee jump, the poop bungee jump.
Where Steve-O was inside of the outhouse?
Yeah. Did you see they did that with Britney Spears?
I've heard there's an outtake, a deleted scene where she did that, but no, I have not actually watched it.
Yeah, I went through it. I found it. He was like on the Jay Leno show or something like that, one of the late night shows that they had brought that, and they brought Britney Spears in the outhouse and did the bungee jump with her in there.
That had to be fake.
I think it was. I mean, it was definitely toned down because it just like looked like a whole bunch of blue water in there.
Yeah. And like I mean, we're almost done, I think, with this one. But to spoil the now, when they do it in the now, I'm almost convinced that was fake. That was not like actual fecal matter, which I'm fine with, because you shouldn't be repeating that one, like, because you got to involve like all kinds of shots and doctor's visits and things when you're dealing with that kind of.
Supposedly they filled it up with mostly dog feces, but they said that all the crew members took a shit in there.
I don't know. The guy didn't even have goggles on, or he had his mouth open and everything. It's like, you just.
Yeah.
That's all kinds of health code violations right there, and I don't think you're going to be able to film that. Honestly, I just don't think you're going to be able to.
When my dad did a canoe race on the Chicago River, and he fell in. After he fell in the Chicago River, the people organizing the race called him every week for 3 months to see how he was doing. Like,
you haven't died yet, have you? No.
Hey, how you doing? You don't feel like you got like hepatitis or anything, do you? No, I'm fine. Okay.
How's your mustache?
Yeah, mustache is fine. Doing all
Still
right.
Got your balls all good? Yeah.
Yeah, just checking. Thank you.
You haven't turned into the Hulk, have you?
All right. That would be the mellowest Hulk ever.
You're not a superhero by night, are you? Don't feel the need to avenge crimes? Nothing like that?
All right. Yeah, I think we're done here. I kind of miss Josh not being here.
Yeah. I hope he recovers.
Yep.
Jackass.
Telling us how much he hates it. So,
yeah, for those of you in the wonder, whatever, he had some family stuff that happened. He wasn't able to be here the whole time, so he had to duck out. We figured the best way to do it was theme related. So,
yep.
Thanks, Josh, for your tiny appearance. He'll be back next week as usual.
Hey, it's a good size.
I said appearance.
All right, we will be back in a little bit. We are back, and we're going to talk about Jackass Forever, which, from what I understand, is their final. We're done.
Well,
I think in one interview,
I bet you it's going to be the final one that's going to have the original cast in it.
Yeah, there may be people that pick it up after this, but Johnny Knoxville is in no condition to be getting any more concussions.
No, he. I think he is officially at the medically recommended dosage.
Dosage? Yeah.
What did I say? I think it was like Pontius or somebody in like one of the videos is like, well, they said you shouldn't get any more. It's really dangerous to get concussions after you're 50, and Johnny's 49, so he's okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
and then Steve, I think the one you're thinking of is Steve-O when he's like they say it's bad. It's really bad to get a concussion after you're 30, but luckily we're all we're all in our 20s. So
No, Mike's right though. They did say that
Was it?
in the
They did it
trailer
again?
about Johnny.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
well, so he called it back. Nice.
Yep. I mean, Dr. Spachemin might say differently, but
but yeah, so this stars
It's not an
mostly
exact science.
mostly the same people. And one of the things I wanted to mention, I forgot to talk about earlier, but Jeff Tremaine also directed The Dirt, which is the Motley Crue documentary
movie.
Yeah. It's not a doc. Okay.
Nope, it's not a documentary. It's a movie with Machine Gun Kelly and what's his name from Game of Thrones? The awful man. I forget the character's name.
Awful
Renly.
Man?
Renly? No, not Renly.
Ren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ewan
I don't know who
Ryan?
you're talking about. The awful man.
I don't remember now. Anyway,
Douglas Booth, Daniel Weber,
You know, talking about Ramsey Bolton.
was it
Ramsey
Yeah.
Lewis.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
That's
Move
not the
along.
movie we're talking
Move-
about, Joel.
Yeah, move along. It's not. We are way
anyway.
off. Yeah.
So, trivia, and I'm going to ask some questions about this because things have changed from the last time I had known about Jackass. After his firing from Jackass Forever, Bam Margera went on his Instagram and attacked Johnny Knoxville, Jeff Tremaine, and Spike Jones.
Ramsey?
What?
Yeah, Ramsey Bolton. Okay.
Jesus.
So he went on to Instagram. Uh-huh.
that was worth interrupting him right in the middle.
What? Would you like to go back in the conversation, Joel?
I'm good now.
Joel
You're good
just
now.
grabs the wheel and he's like, "No, we're taking that U-turn."
I want to go to Denny's.
Jesus, we'll get flapjacks later.
So anyway, Johnny Knoxville, Jeff Tremaine, and Spike Jones for what he called torturing him with many conditions to keep part in the film, such as random drug tests, going to rehab, and remaining sober, to which he admittedly didn't follow. He also sent death threats to Jeff Tremaine and his family, which prompted Tremaine to get him a restraining order against Margera. What the hell happened?
The last part, I that's the first time I'm hearing this, but according to Bam, when they came to him in 2019, they kind of forced him into signing an agreement that said if he was going to do the movie, he had to remain sober, and there was going to be everybody was going to be sober. They'd have to do drug testing and whatever for him. I think everybody was sober. Anyway, he had to do testing and remain sober the whole time. Well, at one point, he has been on Adderall since he was 13, 14. He took an Adderall at one point during the course of filming. They tested him, sent him to rehab. He said he was going to do, thought he was going to do like a 30-day thing. They made him stay 90 days, made him pay for it, and then they ended up firing him off the set because they said he broke the agreement. But it's a medication he's been on and prescribed again since he was like 13 or 14. And so now there is one scene in the film where he's still in it, even though he was removed from the rest of the film. In the marching band sequence, he's one of the people that's marching.
Yeah, I think I read that like you see his elbow or something like that in there.
I've seen one clip where you can see the side of his face briefly. After they get up, after they've all fallen off, which that incidentally is one of my favorite parts of the whole fucking movie for whatever reason. But yeah, he's gone on record because he helped write a lot of the stunts. So he's gone on record trying to get what's his, I guess, or to fight back because he feels like he was kind of unjustly let go from the project.
Well,
I think as an outsider looking in, essentially what I kind of think it is a lot of the guys, spearheaded by Steve-O, decided they were going to get sober. And Bam basically was just like, well, I'm really not interested in that. And they kind of forced it on him. They're like, well, if you want to be part of this movie, you're going to agree to it. And he just kind of was like, well, I don't want to not be part of the movie. So I guess, yeah. And he didn't take it as seriously as they did. And when they busted him breaking it, they put the hammer down on him. And it's just a case of like, he's just not ready to stop. That's,
I mean, after Ryan died.
Yeah. I mean, he's in a bad place in a lot of ways and he's not ready to, to give up a lot of the things that are helping him.
Now, how did Ryan die?
Drunk driving accident.
Oh, really?
They said he was doing up to 130 in his car, wrecked it, killed him and his passenger both.
Oof.
And Bam has just pretty much never really, I guess, recovered from that.
Yeah, because he's basically like his brother. I mean, they weren't actually related, but they were that close. And yeah, he's just never got over it. Now, Steve-O, however, he's just that dude. I got a lot of respect for him, for cleaning his life up and staying clean. So good on him and getting everybody else motivated, if that's the case.
But yeah, that's as much as as an outsider looking in, that's as much as we can give you.
Oh, some crazy stuff, man.
I mean, I can call Bam if you want. I got his phone number. I don't. I've got.
Yeah, you got Bam Bam Bigelow's phone number.
Yes, I do have Bam Bam Bigelow's. Do you want to talk to him?
No, he's dead.
Sure. Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
that'd be boring.
Want to talk to Bam Bam and Pebbles?
All right, so moving on with trivia.
Bam Bam, the singer from the 80s? You want to talk to her?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Why do you have all these numbers?
You got everybody but Bam Margera.
I've got the Bam Bam phone book. It's just nothing but phone numbers for people named Bam.
It's full of a bunch of Bams and George Michael. It's the Wham Bam phone book.
That's so stupid.
Somewhere out there, Josh just went, "Oh my God, my head! Ow!"
There's been a disturbance in the force.
He's having an aneurysm right now for no reason. Oh God! So moving on with the trivia.
Yes, please.
Steve-O has said that he's surprised they're even making this movie at all for various reasons, including Ryan Dunn's death, Bam Margera not returning, and the fact that they're all really too old to still be doing these things.
Right.
Which we'll talk about that, which ties into that. But anyway, yeah.
Bruce Dern wanted to make a guest appearance in this, but filming had already wrapped by the time they got his request, which probably had to have been kind of disappointing.
And strange. I mean, he
made a guest appearance in one of them, right? Didn't he?
Well,
I thought he did.
Rip Taylor.
Yeah, he did.
Was in
the credits. Yeah.
The first three. At the end, but Bruce Dern is an odd.
Right.
It's an odd.
Well,
choice.
he's an odd dude too.
I just remember. I thought I remembered like one particular scene where they're just kind of panning the camera around and they're just like, "Pink arrow," or they just Bruce Dern. Like what?
Right. Okay.
Also, Shaquille O'Neal wanted to box Johnny Knoxville for this.
Which they've done stuff together before, the Jackass guys.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Shaquille O'Neal. He loves Wee Man.
That's funny.
Wee Man picked him up. Like, he had Shaquille O'Neal on his back.
How? How is that even physically possible?
If I wouldn't have seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. But
yeah.
They fold him.
It's all about the fulcrum.
Right? And he's got plenty of that.
That's what I've been told. This is also the first Jackass movie not to feature a guest appearance by Rip Taylor, as he died in October of 2019.
If he's anything like Bam Bam Bigelow, get him on the line.
So, again, they are too old to be doing this stuff. This is there were some of the things that I watched happen on this. I had sympathy pains.
Well, okay.
For them.
My first comment is there was just way too much penis and balls. I mean, even for these guys, there was way too much.
I can't believe I'm hearing you say that, Patrick.
I know. And so at one point I'm like, come on, we need a new angle here.
But that opening sequence,
Yeah, I was dying
Come on.
as soon as I saw them like all like forming as an army and like like looking like they were getting ready for a big, a big giant attack. I was because I was watching this with Michelle, my sister, and I just looked at her. I go, "Oh my god, whose penis is going to be painted up?" And
You
then
know
that was
it's Pontius.
right when they cut to the penis. I'm like, "Oh Jesus!"
It's his job, man. His job is to be half naked
Well,
or nude.
and that's what I'm saying. Like when it's him, I'm okay, but like everybody else is just like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna get naked."
It was just so. Yeah. Speaking of, well, we're past that. We'll keep moving forward. I think they did handle the fact that they're all 50 or nearing 50 by bringing in a new group of people that are willing to do the stunts,
Yeah,
so they don't have to do all the stunts.
do we have a list of some of those new guys by chance?
Poopies is the one that most people remember, and
Yeah.
Eric Andre was
Yeah.
there, although he didn't really do much except
They had
commentate.
Sean McGarney was Poopies, and Davon Wilson was Jasper.
Then there was the girl.
Yeah, there was a girl who licked the electric lollipop. What
Yeah,
the
Rachel
hell?
something.
Yeah, that was because
And
that was kind of funny because like I watched a lot of previous stuff, and Suzanne's like, women just do not do this sort. I'm like, hey, look at
There she is.
look at what she's doing. She's licking the taser. No,
And does anybody think Eric Andre and Andy Samberg should do a movie where they're like separated at birth or something?
that'd be
They
funny.
look very similar.
Zach Holmes was the new big guy.
That dude was nuts.
Yeah, he apparently will do whatever the hell,
His teeth to prove it. Did you see? He's got the
Yeah,
tooths.
you mentioned Jasper. Who else appeared? Some of the new guys. Francis. Oh, Eric
Dark
Manaka.
Shark.
Yeah.
Don't forget Dark Shark.
Eric Manaka. What was no, they don't even have her listed here.
Compton
Rachel.
Wilson.
She's not even
Yeah,
listed
they've got
here. Oh, Rachel Wolfson, there she is.
Yeah, that's
Travis Taco Bennett.
But yeah,
and I mean,
they got a new crew of people to kind of help them out on some of the things that they're just tired of doing. Like when Eric Manaka went into the fake canvas screen, that one got me.
it was just so simple.
I know, like going back to their roots.
One. Yeah.
Yeah, the Wile E. Coyote one. Yeah, because
it
really totally got me.
Too.
They do that in a lot of they've done that many times, and it gets me every time. But that one might have been the best one. I didn't see that one at all.
Well, he hit that thing full speed.
He did, man. I mean, it made a big old smack.
And did you see the look on his face when he finally woke? When he like sat up and he was like, for a brief moment, had no idea where the hell he was.
I think even he was surprised how hard he hit that. He's like, "What the?"
By the way, just because I just remembered it, and it ties into what we're talking about now. Is it just me, or do you guys did you enjoy or really enjoy the parts in either the opening or the ending where they do like the big production numbers and they slow everything down and you're seeing like these horrifying things happening to them in slow motion?
Oh yeah, that is the best.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I love watching that. It's like a freaking science project.
Like the one going through them. What was the one where they all did the like in front of the big rainbow thing? I think that was Jackass 2, where they slapped Wee Man with a fish,
and they had all like the paint cans like exploding on them and everything.
Right, and then they had like I think it was
Wee Man's dressed like a fisherman and
gets slapped with a giant tuna.
No, it was I think it was Ryan in the one where they had like this woven basket, like a netting full of like water balloons full of something that they hit him at the same time someone did a flying kick to his face.
Oh yeah,
that was part 3. Yeah, that was part 3.
Right? And I'm watching that, and again, you know that feeling like when you've been caught doing something and you look up and your mom's like, "What the hell are you doing?" That was my case with Suzanne. It's like I stopped, I'm laughing, she'll look at her, I'm like, "What?" It's just like they kicked him in the face. I'm like, yeah, they did. It was awesome.
I'm watching it with Laura, and she's laughing harder than I am.
There were times she laughed. I mean, there were times that like the duck shooting one with the paintballs where they were launching him into the air. She thought that was pretty damn hilarious.
The Jackass is the core concept that Mel Brooks said about comedy. He said, com- uh, this is what I'm trying to remember the exact quote, but Mel Brooks said, he said, tragedy is when I get a paper cut, and comedy is when you fall down a manhole.
Yep.
Accurate.
It's like watching other people hurt themselves and hurt each other willingly, and it's hysterical.
Well, and it's also like I know, Patrick, you like outtakes.
Yes.
And whenever you watch outtakes, you, me, Mike, whoever, and the cast starts laughing at the outtake, it makes it funnier for the audience, it feels like, because you start laughing with them, and then it just becomes like a perpetual thing. And here it's the same thing. Something goes sideways. As soon as they know that they're okay and they start laughing, you can't help but start to laugh. It's that kind of uncomfortable, like, ow,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't me. And sometimes it's just impressive. Like when they launch Johnny Knoxville into the air to do the Icarus thing. That's an impressive
really
shot.
That shot with of him coming up to the camera was a great shot.
That and it was briefly glorious because he was like reliving what that gray hair is, which I'm amazed the hair hadn't turned gray a lot earlier from the trauma that he's put on his body. But
I'm surprised he could have kids.
Right. And that was impressive. That was, and I remember watching it, and the one guy's like, what if we just pointed it straight up? That and the going with the mime thing, the silent thing, when what's the not Wee Man, the new guy, Poopies.
Rachel? Oh yeah.
That's like Poopies is gonna kiss a Texan rat snake.
Oh, that was
Right,
intense.
Oh my god. I was just like, and that is like towing the line where I'm starting to get like, this isn't comfortable. When Johnny Knoxville goes, is this venomous? And the guy's like, meh.
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean, all I can imagine is, I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is, how much would they have to pay me to put my face next to a mad rat snake?
Well, how much would they have to pay you to let a scorpion sting you in the lips 3 times?
Well, when they first started,
Jesus.
Steve-O's first year on Jackass, he made, I think he said $1,500 for the entire season.
For the TV show?
For the TV show, right? Because he was getting paid like $600 per episode or something like that. I don't remember. It was like a really small amount. But then
he was
now
doing it for the love.
Now they just,
yeah, they're all
Bam
millionaires now.
Yeah, Bam Margera said that when he would make a movie, they'd pay him like $5 million or more, depending. I mean, now he's probably paid more than some of the other guys, but now they're probably all about the same, except for Johnny Knoxville, probably. But yeah, so would you do that, Mike? If they're like, okay, here's you get $1 million paycheck for this, 30 weeks
stung
of shooting
on the lips
to do everything that they do in a movie.
Yep.
Would
Pick whoever you want of the characters. You have
would
to do
you
everything
be that
they
character?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you super glue yourself to me as part of a movie?
Oh, that looked so painful.
Oh my god, that looked awful.
Ah.
When he grabbed Ryan's beard, and Ryan's like, why'd you grab it? The whole thing.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like where would my limit be. See, the thing is like the snake bite thing. That was.
There's doctors there. You're not going to die.
I've been bitten by a snake many times. I used to have snakes.
On the face?
That's exactly what I was just about to say. It's on the face is the problem I have with it. Like I've been bit on the hands and the arms several times, and like it's not pleasant, but I would do that. Yeah, it's the face that I have. Like I don't want to be bitten in my goddamn face by anything.
Yeah. Buy me, have a snake bite me in the leg, have a snake bite me in the arm, but he got him right on the friggin' nose and upper lip.
Yeah.
And you could tell that at that moment he's like, I'm done.
Yeah, he was almost ready to quit. Yeah.
Let me change the rules of the question then for just a second. Would you do it 20 years ago? Does that change anything?
No, because I literally had a 0-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean, I'll be honest with you.
mean.
For $1 million, I would probably still do it right now, and I definitely would have done it 20 years ago. I would still probably do it now because $1 million is it's not enough money to like you can never work again, but it's enough money that you can invest it and live comfortably for the rest of your life, and and you're not going to be a rock star, but so
No,
But yeah, but you
but
get
it's
yourself
life
ahead a little
changing.
bit.
I mean, $1 million is life changing. It's not it's not
yeah,
it's not
you're
life
not.
solving. But it's life changing.
It's gonna get rid of a lot of debt. It's gonna give you money in the bank. It's gonna because Laura and I had this discussion actually already, and I was like, yeah, for $1 million, I'd do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $1 million. I know it's not as much as it used
If
to
I
be in terms
if I
of,
had a
but
couple months to like get ready for it, like if I knew like we were going to start filming at Gen Con, and I had like 4 months to get ready, I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm doing this.
Yeah. So you would have 4 months to procrastinate and then remember 4 days before we had to leave.
But no, my point being, like, if they're saying if we're going to start tomorrow, I'll be like, no, I'm not going to do it because it will probably kill me.
okay. Well, would this change it, Patrick, if you had to do the Chris Pontius bit where he has the snake and the little mouse? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh
Would you
my
do that
god.
if that was part of your $1
Oh,
million?
oh, I have probably.
Because that's a different kind of snake bite.
Yeah, simply because I mean everything heals, right? But I mean, oh my god, that would be. I had
Did
that.
you see that one, Mike?
Say that again?
They painted
Where
Chris Pontius's penis to look like a mouse, and he had to put it through a hole in a snake cage.
Yeah,
and the snake attacked the little mouse.
that's like the second part. Like my face is one thing, that's an entirely different category altogether. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you just want to paint it like a mouse, I mean, I'm like, all right, cool, let's do that. You want to feed it to a snake? That's where I start having issues.
And it was hanging on, man. That thing was hanging on.
Yeah. Yeah. It was not venomous, but it was definitely vicious.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a good idea in a way to bring in some new blood to do some things and to give, well, because it gives them a chance to kind of these people that are kind of aspiring to be the next generation, or just maybe that they're just big enough fans that they want to try. And it also gives us the viewer kind of a gateway. If we're ever like, I wonder if I could do that. Well, here's your guy that is your analog for that. Although I gotta say, Machine Gun Kelly,
yeah, I could.
That dude.
Okay.
I think almost in every instance of Machine Gun Kelly, I could do without Machine Gun Kelly.
I
got
saw
so,
Machine
like,
Gun
upset.
Kelly live.
What?
Yeah, at a conference, right?
No, it was at he opened for Fall Out Boy a couple years ago.
Oh,
And they were not having any of it. They were cussing him out. They were, I mean, that is not the same Venn. They're not even near in the Venn diagram that, there were people that were there just to see Machine Gun Kelly, and the rest of us were there to see Fall Out Boy and Rise Against, which they should be
That
called.
makes
Hey,
sense.
I didn't know that they sang that song. But the one where they were pedaling the bikes with the
Yes.
giant hands, and he's like, I thought your hand was my hand.
Yeah, he got all
I-
pissy about it. I'm like,
He
oh,
did,
dude.
but I think the best part of that one was they're like trying to set up the hands. And
Yeah.
yeah.
got
Just
Steve
tap
on-
it.
Can you just give that hand a little bit of pa-chong? And what's cool about it is that, like you said before, no matter what happens, they're never mad. Everybody rolls with it. I mean,
Right.
like you said, sometimes they're like the guy who got bit on the face with the snake. Once Johnny Knoxville came over and wanted to hit him with a taser, he's like, I'm done. He ran away. But no, that's I don't know how much it would take. I don't know how much it would take for me to get bit on the face by a snake or do the skateboard guillotine. I'm so glad they didn't put his neck in there.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought this one was going to be at first.
Yeah, I know when he was adjusting himself, I'm like, he is not going to lay his head down on there because that's going to break his throat.
right. It was bad enough though with the shins in there. Just like I could
Ugh.
feel it when it hit. Like,
But when he screamed, that was pretty damn funny.
I forgot I couldn't make noise.
And it wasn't even it was that brief
Oh, that's so good. So,
Yeah.
so let's talk about at the risk of doing the wasn't that a cool scene? Let's talk about Johnny Knoxville getting a literal like 270-degree turn, or no, what was it? A 540-degree turn by a bull and knocked completely unconscious.
That was
actually kind of scary.
And that was the
I'm
2nd
not,
hit.
yeah, I am amazed he's not dead.
Yeah. Like, that had to be the moment where he's like, okay, yeah, I think this is the last movie.
They filmed one other take before that, and it didn't. It just kind of nicked him, and so it knocked him down, but it didn't. He's like, nope, that wasn't a good enough shot. So they had to do it again, which is unusual. But
the balls to just stand there and wait for it to come the second time.
I
the
mean,
only thing I think that would have made it better is if he had been just coherent enough when he came to just kind of look up and go, "Is the bull okay?"
and why he chooses to mess with those animals. And there's the one, I don't remember if it was in the movie or the one of the TV show where I think it was in the 3rd movie where he's dancing in front of the buffalo pen, and then they release a bunch of buffaloes in there.
Yeah.
And they knock his ass down. I'm like,
well, because he was on roller skates because of that
yes.
song. You can't roller skate in the buffalo herd. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Dude, yeah. It's a wonder any of them aren't dead, or at least not severely
not from their stunts.
paralyzed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are looking a little worse for the wear, but I mean, that's going to happen from age, let alone breaking.
Well, Danger Aaron looks like he's been put through the ringer, man. That whole scene with the bear was intense.
That was insane.
Because the whole time I'm thinking, that's not a real bear. That's got to be fake. Something's got to be fake. He's got to be on a leash. No, he just keeps getting up there and getting all in his junk. I'm like, oh my God.
And what's their recourse? Did they have a guy with a trank dart nearby? I mean, what? I didn't see anything.
And the dude's finally just like, oh, yep, think I better get in there.
Yep, time to go. All right.
And all he does is slowly put a chain around its neck. Like, what are you going to do if this thing just freaks out?
If Manny doesn't want any part of it, it's a...
Right? You know that's a fucked up situation.
That and the truth detector, the lie detector thing. Are you allergic to bees? Yes.
I am!
God, that's like a nightmare. I mean, I have a nightmare of me sitting in that chair and Pat has the buzzer.
Yeah, you don't want that. Oh man, and then the final scene where they're all on the vomit carousel and they break out the paintballs and just...
That was, you could tell that everybody on that carousel was so confused once the explosion started happening.
Right?
I was confused. I was like, what the hell are they doing? Where's this going?
First off, the one guy's like, I'm spinning so fast I can't drink my mouth.
Right?
And the fat guy,
that was Jasper. Jasper's like, I can't drink it.
I'm passing out. Oh my God, I'm passing out. I mean, yeah, we're totally Chris Farleying this, but at the same time, there's putting the guys on the carousel, drinking milk, putting the guys on the carousel until they pass out. But what if they were drinking milk? But what if at the end of it, keeping them spinning for 3.5 minutes, we bring in a bunch of people in army fatigues and cause a bunch of explosions? And you can see, I forget, the one guy on the carousel was like, there's an army truck.
Yeah, I see an army truck. Oh, what's happening?
Good. I don't know what's going on. And then the explosions start happening. And I guess just hanging out with these people, if stuff starts happening that you're not fully aware of that was going to happen, like, I'm going to sit in this, drink the milk, and they're going to spin me. Fine, I know this. But when all the extra stuff started happening, and then they all started unloading on them with the paintballs, it was like, wouldn't it be cooler what if we had a bunch of guys in fatigue show up? Yeah, man, that's freaking out.
Yeah, at any time, man, if you're in on one of these things, you never know if you're fully in on it or if something's happening behind you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's insane.
I mean, and you just got to roll with it. If some, with them, some days you're the statue and some days you're the pigeon. You never
Yep.
know.
Okay. Well, do thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah. I have one other question, real quick.
Yeah.
After doing this show now, Mike, would you watch any of this again on your own without the show?
Yeah. If I need a laugh, if I need a laugh, yeah, I will dig some. I've been digging up. I went down kind of a YouTube rabbit hole on them anyway.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's basic comedy humor that just goes straight to the id and just makes you laugh. Like
You don't got to
nothing.
think about too much.
Yeah, there's nothing
Mhm.
complicated about any of it, and that's it's almost what the beauty is in.
And literally, pretty much 95% of it is on Paramount Plus right now.
Oh,
So, if anybody's interested,
got to get Paramount Plus then.
I think it's like $5 a month.
Yeah.
Plus Picard season 2. Anyway,
I will, clearly be a thumbs up for both, for all of it, for everything. I love Jackass. I love the whole franchise. Makes me laugh.
Yeah, I gotta say, I knew about it, never watched it, but I say thumbs up. It's stupid fun.
Yeah.
I obviously thumbs up everything, anything, all the things. I'm a fan.
Excellent.
And it's a shame we didn't have Josh here because he would have been an interesting vote at
Shitting
this
all
point.
over it.
I mean, you never know. I mean, some of the stuff he definitely would have given a thumbs down to, but I mean, you never know what his overall. I still want to know, so we're gonna get him to chime in next week.
You know what the
At
thing
least-
is? I think Josh would have enjoyed some of them that had the good plan behind it.
Right,
You know,
like the Arab terrorist one. I think he would like that one.
yeah, the terror taxi.
Or the car rental.
Yeah. We should maybe give him like just a few to watch just to get his opinion on it if he hasn't already. Yeah, because I'd be curious. I'm curious now.
All right. So, yeah, again, if you want to get in touch with us, we're at 708 Now Wrap. That's 708-669-9727. And if you'd like to look at our back catalog of shows, you can find them on your favorite podcast apps, such as Podbean or Pandora. You can give us a thumbs up over there. And you can also leave us a review on Apple, Google, or Amazon podcasts. And if you could, there's also a link down there for the Ko-fi link. You could buy us a coffee and help keep some of our internet fees at bay. Joel, what's on the plan?
Funny you should say. Plan 9 from Outer Space, as well as TV theme songs.
Ooh,
And
I
join
almost
us on
made a
Discord.
pune.
Ooh.
This is not Plan 8, Elaine. This is Plan 9.
Jerry, you magnificent bastard. Flick the bean.
Damn it. All right. Well, we will be back next week. Thank you for listening. What's in the box?
It's a Patrick.